Alice, and we're here to talk about fall. It's one of my favorite times of the year. The colors are so beautiful and the air is so nice. Great time to be outside. We're going to talk about cooking pumpkin. It's as easy as baking a potato. First of all, you cut the pumpkin in half and you'll see seeds are exposed, and we're going to make a snack first of all with the seeds. So once you cut the pumpkin, take the seeds out, put them in the colander. You can use a spoon to make it a little bit easier. I'm going to set the pumpkin aside, and we're going to roast these seeds so that you can have a snack later. First of all, put a little olive oil on them. Doesn't have to be much. Smooth them around with your hands. And then choose your favorite seasoned salt. That's it. Place them in a preheated oven at 375. Roast them for about 30 minutes. The smell test will help you decide when they're done. Remember, when we cut the pumpkin, in order to cook it, we had to take the seeds out. Then you turn it upside down on a cookie sheet, very easy, and bake it for about an hour. I like to freeze packets of processed pumpkin pulp. Then you're ready for any recipe that you might want to do. Most recipes call for 2 cups, but if you have to modify it one way or the other, it's easy. So I recommend putting 2 cups on your package for the freezer, and also a date would be nice. I forgot to do this one. So let's get on to pumpkin pie. I've already cracked 3 eggs in my bowl. I'm going to put the pumpkin pulp in there, along with a cup and a half of half and half. You can use canned milk if you like, but I just love pie with half and half. And then I have an assortment of spices. You can double check the quantity of the ingredients on my website, homeoklahoma.com. So here's the spices. I've already pre-measured them. Sugar, it takes both brown sugar and white sugar for my favorite recipe, and a half and half. It's important to mix this thoroughly. The sugar sometimes has some hunks, particularly the brown sugar. So now we've finished the filling, and I'm going to set that aside and make the crust. We're ready for pie crust. I've already pre-measured 3 cups of flour and put them in the bowl. And I have a teaspoon of salt in here, and it requires 1 brick of shortening. Some people like to use butter. My son thinks that's his favorite. After you put it in, you cut it in. And the reason for cutting it in is so the pie crust will be flaky. You want to cut it in until it looks like maybe small peas. After you have your shortening and flour all ready to go, you'll take a 1/3 cup of water and move the flour and shortening around while you pour this in. I always take my rings off because pastry is not easy to get out of your rings. Use your hands and start forming this into a ball. If you're making a fruit pie and you may want to put a topping on it, you could use half for the bottom and say half for the top. You can make a solid top, or you can make a lattice top. Don't be afraid of making pie dough. It is easy. A regular 8 or 10-inch pie plate will require half the dough, so I just pinch it in half. And I've already pulled out 2 sheets of wax paper. Put the dough down and form it into a ball. If you were using a rectangular pan, then you would kind of shape it in a rectangle. It's easy to roll out, but the secret to this is getting the pie dough thin, so the crust is thin and not heavy. Always start from the center and roll out. Turn it around. Pie, you won't have to go to the gym that day because you'll be working out. I like to turn it over because the paper does get wrinkled. Take your pie pan, turn it upside down to see if you have rolled it out far enough where it will completely cover. And when you're finished, you can flute the edges, and I have frozen this one. Just completely wrap it in saran wrap. You could put a piece of wax paper in the very bottom just to keep air contact out. By the way, air is what spoils food. So eliminate that when you're storing things in the freezer. And we're ready to fill the pie pan with our mixture. I like to give it another mix because while it's setting, the sugar will dissolve. Now, to further ensure that you don't make a mess in your oven or on the floor going to the oven, I like to place the pie plate in a cookie sheet. And that's it. If you have extra pumpkin, you can always make bread. You can use that for gifts, souffles. There's a lot of different things you can do with pumpkin. It's a fall favorite. Let me show you quickly how I knew when it was done. Just take a regular table knife, stick it in the center, and if it comes out clean like that, then it's done. Aside from the smell test, you can always back that up by testing that. So it's ready to cool, add a little whipped cream, and serve it. Remember, we also baked our pumpkin seeds before we started the pie. So now they're fully cooled off and ready to serve. I like to keep a spoon in the bowl so it keeps dirty hands out. Put it on a napkin and you're ready. For an efficient use of time while the pie was baking, I've carefully cleaned the kitchen, putting away all the appliances. Remember, part of residential decorating now is less. So remove as much as you can from the kitchen. And you'll notice that I have a stash of pumpkins, but that's just holiday decorating. Thank you so much for coming today.